Hey, what's going on, everybody? Y'all already know I'm in the car. It's gonna be a quick one. You know, I was thinking about something and I wanted to talk to you all about it. Sir, go ahead and drive. Oh, you know what? He might be looking at me like that because he might know me. Because I'm like, why are you driving so slow trying to look at my front? But he does look familiar. I think I know who that is. You guys, first of all, let me just say this. I purchased a new, cell phone holder thingamajigger. Y'all know thingamajigger can mean anything. That's what I purchased. Because y'all usually in the cup holder. Now we somewhat face to face. You know, I was thinking about something, and this is not about any body specific. This is a side note. Have y'all ever been talking to people or been listening to something and then you be thinking like, why do people say the wrong words? I think I said this before to y'all. Like, I just said the word specific, but then people be saying Pacific, and I'm like, what will make you say Pacific? Or some people don't say business, they say business, especially if you like down south. Well, I need to go that way, but I'm gonna go up and turn around. But anyway, sometimes that just be tickling me. Actually, I'm gonna go that way, and I still need to turn around. I'm getting me some ice cream. I will say, excuse me for looking dusty, but y'all know what it is. But you know what's so funny? It's not literally what's so funny, but I was taking a look at something and someone made a post. And in that post, it's a famous person. Not famous, but they're known for what they do. And in that post, they were giving a reminder of what the post was about a reminder of what their life used to be like and how over the last 3 years they've really made some changes. And what I'm getting ready to say next, it's not about the post, but you'll understand why I'm going to say what I'm going to say. So basically the person was saying, this person was saying, I want to celebrate myself because in the last few years I've really made some changes about my life, for the betterment, etc., etc. And then they began to go on and say, I used to travel all over the country. Y'all, side note, one thing about me, I love a good food truck, baby. And don't let it be a food truck festival, sign me up. But they were like, they said, I used to travel all over this country. Ooh, something is in my eye. They said I would travel all over this country, motivating people, helping people, etc., etc. They said I was addicted to prescription pills. I used to drink like crazy. I was overweight. They were just expressing. And they said I was just going all over, bleeding all over people. And that's kind of a terminology people use when you kind of have a lot of things going on, but you are still operating in your purpose. And they were like, I've made so many different changes. And and then I saw another post of someone else that is known for what they do. And they were kind of alluding to the same thing, aside from, they didn't really go into the specifics. So aside from the drugs and addiction, blah, 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 blah. But they were just saying how they travel and they, in so many words, are not happy. They don't know how to be happy. They struggle behind the scenes, but everybody sees them and thinks they live this type of lifestyle, right? And I just was looking at that and I said, man, this pattern, if you will, can be so common if we're not careful. It doesn't matter if you're known for what you do, and it doesn't matter if just your children know you. So it's not about who people know and who people don't know. It's not about that. But when I was listening to that, when I was reading those things, and I was like, man, we all can get so caught up in suffering silently. We can get so caught up suffering behind the scenes and you're unhappy, you're unwell, okay, let me go the other way. You unhappy, you unwell. And again, it doesn't even matter the reason. It doesn't matter if it's addiction. It doesn't matter if it's unhealthy relationship. It doesn't matter if you sleeping around. So we're not going to try to say that you're only unwell if you do these few particular things. No, it's not about that. It's just about, I'm like, so many people are suffering silently and so unwell behind the scenes. That behind the scenes could be look so many different ways. You could be in a public eye and then you have your behind the scenes. You could go to work every day and behind your door at your house or whoever you live with or wherever you stay could be your behind the scenes. And I'm like, so many people have not turned on that light switch to allow that light bulb to come on for various different reasons. And they are suffering silently. You're not happy, you're unwell, your mental state is not the best. And we all know that we fluctuate in and out of that, including me. But I am learning, you all. I was just talking to somebody the other day and I said, I thank God that I am not where I used to be. This is not just me saying that. I know that my relationship with God is better. I know that the time I spend with him is better. I know that how I think about things is better, how I approach situations, how I perceive situations. I just know. And I can go on and on and on and on and on. And it didn't take me overnight. So I was out, but then not well behind the scenes, right? So we all do it. So it's not about those people are less than, because again, we fluctuate in and out of that. You could be doing great and a loved one could pass away and you could be unwell behind the scenes. Like I said, behind the scenes doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in the public eye. Behind the scenes could also mean your family thinks you're great, but you're really depressed on the inside. Or your spouse, right, thinks you're okay, but really you have something going on the inside that you're not. This part is important to say, that you're not addressing, that nobody really knows, that you're not really working through. You know, that my heart goes out to the people that have to live like that consistently without a plan of action. It's okay that you feel that way. It's okay that you fall into that at times, because we all will. But when you have learned to live there, stay there, remain there, you so deep, dark in the hole, you cannot get yourself out, or at least it appears that way. My heart goes out. And when I was looking at those two particular posts, my heart started to grieve for those people, because I was like, man, that's hard when you're helping other people, but you're suffering. You giving people the best advice, but you suffering. You saying this and saying that, but you can't seem to get it to line up for your own life. And y'all know my background is spirituality, my relationship with Christ. It sucks even the more when you preaching and teaching and helping other people, but you can't seem to apply it to your own life. It just seems like, why isn't it working out for me? Why is it that I can help other people, but I can't seem to help myself? And there's various different reasons. You know, if I have to go to the more of the tough love side, sometimes people just don't, you know, I didn't always believe that some people like challenges in terms of like, you know how you could see, like, you know how you could tell, like, sometimes you like, this person always like to gossip. They like to be in drama. They like mess. They like that. It's hard for you to really come to the conclusion that your loved ones or your friends or people you know, they're so used to chaos. That's all they know how to function in, and that's where they want to actually remain. But I found that whole misery loves company thing, there is a lot of validity to that. And some people, again, this is the tough love side, some people just like to live that way. But I know they want to tell you, you think I want to be like this? Some people just do, because they're so used to chaos. They can't even function no other way. Some people like to have that victimization, woe, it's me mentality. Oh, why can't it work out for me? Some people just like to live like that. It's like come on, man. It's too many resources. Watch this. It's too many resources, not for you to be that way, but for you to stay that way. It's too many resources for you to stay that way. It's too many resources. We all have the potential and have been that way at times. But it's too many resources for us to just live that way consistently. I know people that's been in the same funk and fog for years. With titles, with this, with that, with accolades. And I'm just like, at this point, with all due respect, I love you enough to say, dude, if you really wanted to go get help, just go do it. And I know when it's you sitting in the seat, it's easy for people to say, but it's easier said than done. Is it? Especially if you have people that's saying, I'll walk through the journey with you. I'll place the phone call with you. Heck, I'll talk for you. You ain't got to do it by yourself. And it's so hard because, again, you really don't want to believe where I'm at. You really don't want to believe because you see how they may look, how they may dress, how they may speak, the kind of jobs they have. You don't want to believe. Do you really want to just be like that? But it's like, at some point, I was talking to somebody a few weeks ago, and they just had the same old song. And I finally said, you know what the problem is? I said, somebody needs to tell you the truth. At some point, this is enough. And it's always, oh, this is bigger than this. Is it? Then go get some help. Put yourself on a plane and go to a men's retreat. Go get some therapy in another state. There's all types of stuff out there. You just don't want to do it. Because what are the conclusion? The conclusion is that the most powerful God you telling everybody else about, that the devil got you in a stronghold? So two things. Either you don't believe it or you're lying. And we know God is who he is. So that means you just don't believe it for yourself. And that means you probably have formed this trauma bond with your trauma. You understand? And I'm just kind of like, come on, man. You can't have a PhD and be this silly. I'm not buying that no more. Go tell that sob story to somebody else. And here's the messed up part. Those type of people, I'm putting it in quotes, right? Because it looks different. But those type of people, they'll surround themselves around people that won't tell them the truth. They'll surround, and there's nothing wrong with the people that don't want to tell them the truth. It could be your family. Your whole mama could see you going through and won't say nothing. Because she like, that's just how they is. I've been in that situation where people will just say, that's just how so-and-so in the family is. I'm like, okay, but that doesn't make it okay. That's sickening. We sick of so-and-so being like that. So-and-so needs consequences and like everybody else. I'm finna stop fooling with so-and-so. I'm not finna sign up for that. You can keep signing up for that, but I'm not. And sometimes we enable people because we don't want to tell them the hard truth for many different reasons. And I finally told the person, I said, you probably gonna think what I'm saying to you is harsh. I said, but it's not. Somebody needs to tell you the truth. And I said that because I know the surroundings of that person. I said, that's the problem. You want to be babied. You surround yourself about people that tap you, that want to get you to pat on the back. Oh, poor you. Oh, everybody's pulling on you. Oh, poor you. Grow up. Grow up. Like you telling everybody else about themselves. You need somebody else to tell you about yourself. Because obviously the studying, the preaching, and the teaching you doing, you're clearly not applying it. But you stand flat-footed and bold and you rip everybody to shreds Sunday after Sunday. That's foul. No, you get tough love too. I'm like, grow up. Enough is enough. Like, that's old. Like, ain't you tired of living like this? And I said, okay, fine. If you feel you got all of this stuff going on, get you a doctor. Get you a psychiatrist. Get on medication. Go to a retreat. Do something. But stop complaining. Stop acting like you the only person in the world with a difficulty. It's people on drugs. Kids is in foster care. Parents is dead. Like, I'm not trying to hear that. But you know what? They don't want to hear that. They don't want that type of accountability. I even sent the person resources. So I know you ain't got no excuse. I said, look this person up. Reach out to this person. This person has a story of suicide, this and this and that. But did you do it? So that's one side of it. I'm only shedding light on a little bit. That tough love side is like, come on now. And we sick of your sob story. You know, I say this with all love. I'm like, for example, I'm like, I ain't never seen so many preachers complain about being a preacher. I'm like, y'all, we all get persecuted. Life is uncomfortable for me, just like life is uncomfortable for you. But I know y'all low self-esteem make y'all feel like, no, but it's different. Man, gone. Again, I'm not oblivious. It's different to a certain degree. But we all read one Bible. So stop it. The same word I read is the same word you read. We all read one Bible. We all, if you say you believe in God and you read that word, we all living by the word of God and all those principles. So God didn't make a separate Bible for preachers. Sorry. I know you want to know that. He didn't. God didn't say, oh my gosh, a preacher has it harder than a person that has to go over into Afghanistan for 2-3 years and kill kids. Oh my gosh, preachers have it harder than surgeons performing open heart surgery, standing on their feet for 20-something hours. Y'all like to just have such separation. But at the end of the day, we all serve one God and read one word. So why is it that you having a more difficult time to get right than everybody else? I know that's hard to hear, but it's the truth. Because see, if you make your mind think of it that way, it takes the woe is me out. Being a preacher is so hard. Man, gone. Then find another occupation. But then y'all will use this as an excuse. But if I stop doing what I'm doing, God is going to whoop my butt. Oh my goodness. I'm like, y'all make having a relationship with God sound like the death penalty. We got to do better. And I know it's easy to be like, you wouldn't know. You're not a preacher. Again, last time I checked, everybody suffers. And last time I checked, we read one word and serve one God. So the same way God can heal a mother from watching her child get killed or whatever the case may be, is the same God that'll stand with a preacher. I ain't trying to hear that. The same people that strung out on drugs and God delivers is the same God that'll show up for the preacher. But I'm like, you don't hear a bunch of drug people on drugs on Facebook complaining about their life. You don't hear people who get their kids taken away or people that's homeless going on talking about, oh, y'all don't know how hard it is being homeless. It's always the preacher complaining about how hard it is to be a preacher. And y'all don't know what we got to go through. Like, everybody in the world is going through something. Again, I'm not saying y'all don't go through stuff. I get it. But my goodness, don't you serve God? Don't you read your word? You showing up telling a bunch of people in the congregation who's broken the tools that is needed. You're the teacher. So if you're the teacher, you actually have one up, if you will. Because you get it first. Because they depending on you to feed them, if you will. Of course, we shouldn't only depend on them, but you guys understand what I'm saying. I'm like, and again, we have those sob stories, but I say to some, so what boundaries do you have in place? Y'all don't know how bad preachers got it. We get caught at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. So what do you have in place so you don't have to do that? You allow that. You should have a protocol team. You should have things put in place. Or do you do that because you lack self-esteem and you want your ego is stroked off of people needing you? I know y'all don't want to talk about the truth. We got to jump up and go visit everybody in jail. Oh, it sounds like to me you have the job of a chaplain. You got the job of a chaplain. They do too. Imagine when police officers have to go do death notifications and the chaplain is there. The chaplain don't know when they get called, but I don't see a bunch of chaplains on Facebook complaining. What parameters, what wisdom has God given you to put in place so being a preacher is just not this death sentence? And then it's like, we don't know. 1 minute is good, 1 minute is bad. I'm like, child, I don't know if y'all bipolar. I don't know if y'all really serve God, don't serve God. Like, what is the deal? Because again, Y'all talking about being a preacher is hard. My mind says, I couldn't imagine living in Iraq where you can't read the word, where you can't have access to Bibles or Christianity or forms of worship. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Where you got to go in the middle of the street and you have the potential to get your wig split because of what you believe. But you freely getting up, going to church every Sunday, preaching. Y'all can survive in another country where there's a famine, where there's a dictatorship. But being a preacher in America is so hard when you got kids that standing 10 toes down without the title of a preacher, trying to figure out how they finna feed their family, where they finna sleep at night, and you hearing shots ringing all night long in war. Stop it. See, but we don't like to hear that. You know why? Because it forces us to be accountable, and it forces us to stop living this sob story. It forces us to get out of the stronghold. And the other side, don't suffer in silence. If you have people that love you, care about you, telling you that they will support you, telling you, let's find the research, let's make the phone calls, let's find the right doctor, let's find the right facility. If you need to go check yourself in, whatever the case may be, guess what? Yes, it's scary. It's scary for everybody. But stop with the excuses. Stop suffering silently. Use that support. Use those resources. Don't let the devil convince you, oh, ain't nobody there for me. Don't let the devil tell you that. Don't let the devil tell you that. Don't let the devil be scared because somebody said, call me if you need help. But then you swear you don't have help. But you have somebody saying, call me if you need help. Don't let the devil do that to you. Don't suffer silent. Don't you be the ones that's behind the scenes. Woe is me. Woe is me. And you ain't doing nothing to be better. If you have friends, family, co-workers, whoever it may be, if they saying we want to be here, we want to help you, we want to guide you. Yeah, we don't have all the answers, but we have some, and the rest we could walk through this thing together. You need help financially, I'll try to help you and support you. You need help mentally, I'll try to help you and support you. You need some guidance, I'll try to help you and support you. Because you know what? We all need somebody. We need that help and support. But don't let the devil trick you to where you find yourself where time finna tick, tick, tick. And you go from 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and you still got the same baggage. You still got the same woes, the same difficulties, the same story. And then the devil will trick you because he'll take little bitty highlights and make you think that's all God has for you. No. Okay, we know you got your degree. We know you got a better job. We know you didn't used to be as angry, but strive for more, strive for greater, strive for better. Like I said, I thank God that I'm not where I used to be, but I'm not finna allow my accomplishment from where I used to be to stop me from trying. No. We in my mind, I always got work to do. I'm never gonna be finished. And I'm not talking about where I'm working myself to the bone, where I'm going crazy. No. But in my mind, no, it still ain't enough. I still want more. I still want greater. You know why? Because we're forever evolving. We're forever growing. Life is still going to happen. Challenges and changes is still going to happen. Just because I'm better than what I used to be, it doesn't mean I'm going to stop working. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop fighting. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop trying. It doesn't mean I'm going to stop my efforts. I'm not just going to settle here because I made a little bit of an accomplishment. No. I'm going to go even harder. Sometimes God may say, go ahead, take a break. Don't overwork yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself. Take a moment to take in your accomplishments. Take a moment to take in how far you've come. I want you to remember this mile marker so that in the event, in the future, you can reference this and say, I remember doing this. I remember overcoming. I remember the change in my life. I remember the growth. I saw it. I felt it. Other people saw it. I lived it. So don't go so fast where you don't mark this time, because you're going to need it again in the future. When the devil try to give you a 1 and a 2, you're going to say, oh, wait a minute, you almost got me. But I remember when I overcame that. I remember when I accomplished that. I remember when I decided to speak differently, think differently, feel differently. So I'm not going to brush past this moment. I'm going to remember it, but I'm not going to be satisfied either. Don't you see? I always like to give different type of examples. LeBron James is known to be the greatest player. Some people say he's the greatest player of all time. But you know what? He still show up for practice. He still takes care of his body. He don't have nothing else to prove. But to him, there's still something that he pushes for and strives for. Otherwise, he would just have a big old beer belly or have a big old belly, not showing up, not caring. See, that's the difference between when we begin to separate ourselves. He still goes in that gym for hours, still works out, still tries to eat right, still. And he has so many accolades. So what am I saying to you? Don't just suffer silently. Tell yourself, I still got something to accomplish. I don't have to live like this. Yeah, I was living like this for a little minute, but I'm up now. I still got something to accomplish. I still got something to go after. I still got something to chase. I still got peace, joy, wholeness, fulfillment. I'm still going to go after all of those things. It's not enough. I don't care what y'all think I accomplished. I don't care. It could be something as I got up today and got out the bed. Good job. So you got to be able to assess your life and be able to assess what mile markers you need. Y'all, I'm doing a video recording. Y'all just revved up y'all motorcycles. I'm recording. Again, I'm not here to tell you how to find the mile marker. You have to say to yourself, because like I said, some people's accomplishment is, I got out the bed today. But don't 8 months from now still be saying, but at least I got out the bed. No, add another goal. I got out the bed and I went outside. I got out the bed, I went outside and I went to the store. I got out the bed, I went outside, I went to the library and I got a book. So where it could be from something that may seem minor to somebody else and something that may seem major. Only you know. Do better. Don't suffer silent. And you ain't got to even tell everybody. Some of y'all know what y'all problems are. You drink too much, you smoke too much, you gossip too much, you complain too much, you lie too much, you cheat too much, you don't spend enough time with God. It don't matter what it is. We ain't here to talk about the proclivity. We ain't here to talk about the bad. You know what it is. You ain't got to tell nobody what you doing, but you know what you doing. And don't find yourself lying to yourself. You know it's affecting your life. You know it's affecting you in some way, shape, or form. If you can't say clear cut 100% across the board that the things that you are doing is serving a greater purpose without you actually trying to lie to yourself, there's your answer on a couple areas where you need to start. And don't overwhelm yourself. Start somewhere, but don't start nowhere and continue to suffer silent. I love y'all. We'll talk soon.